Hello everyone and welcome back to the GCOR Show. What a GCOR show this is going to be, because we've arguably had one of, if not the greatest race in the GCOR Gen.3 era. We have so many talking points today. We have, obviously Hurricanes win. We have some shock retirements. We have some, even a GCOR icon returning for a race, and who knows, he might be staying forever. Who knows? But first, we've got to get on to the biggest talking point, and the thing which really, set everything off to have such a good race, and that was GCOR 75's disqualification. If you already don't know, GCOR 75 got disqualified for a safety car infringement, where when he headed into the pits behind the safety car, he did overtake the safety car, and we have seen that in the past. So I'm really surprised to see GCOR 75 get disqualified. The fact that Nas did the same thing and got away with it, literally, he was right behind GCOR Nas, is really mind-boggling. So, and then the fact that he had no time as well to slow down and let the safety car re-overtake itself, only getting, it was like 2 seconds or 1.5 or something silly like that. I think the FIA did a very poor job, and if you already don't know, this is what happened.
You've got to give that position back, mate. We're under safety car conditions.
Controversy is ending with controversy. No, Michael, that was so not right.
Okay, black flag, we're out of the race.
So magnetic to the stewards. Why do you think that you obviously feel that you're being targeted?
Maybe it's because I'm black. That's what LAG says. I don't know.
It all transpired. Mercedes couldn't believe it. Chick couldn't believe it. Even the commentators couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. The drivers on track, his rivals, none of them could believe it. And what it was from the lead of the race. Yes, he was probably going to lose the lead of the race, because when the safety car came out, when it got deployed, Chick had already gone past the pit lane the lap before. He'd already gone past the pit lane and he was driving down the straight, so it was definitely a worse time for the safety car to come out for GCOR and even Dino Bambino, because obviously Bambino was on an alternate strategy. But, I'm sure Chick will bounce back. He'll come back stronger. We've seen this many times, We've seen Chick have a bad race, and then we've seen him, bouncing back the next weekend. Obviously, we saw him have a complete stinker at China, but then at Singapore he managed to bounce back, and even previous seasons we've seen that. So don't be surprised to see him fighting back, come back stronger. But yeah, I guess only time will tell. This is massive for the championship, though. If Chick had beaten Dino Bambino, that championship gap would have increased, but all of a sudden, now Dino Bambino's got a championship lead of 14 points over GCOR 75. That has been the biggest since race 3, I think, when Bambino had a 25-point gap lead to GCOR, and I think it was 11 points to Coward or something. But yeah, that's massive for the championship. But anyways, let's get on to our next point, which is Hurricane. Hurricane getting his maiden race victory in GCOR. What a well-deserved win as well. I mean, yes, it was a crazy race. Yes, the safety car came out at the wrong time for Dino Bambino on his strategy. Yes, GCOR 75 got disqualified. Even Nas, he had very good race pace. But I think he spun or something. He made contact with Charlie Dorr. So, who made his debut and had, it was an alright debut. I saw some flashes of, potential greatness, but we'll only find out in the upcoming races. But yeah, anyways, back to the point. Hurricane, he drove immensely well in qualifying. I think he qualified. Where did he qualify? I can't remember where he qualified. It was somewhere in the top 5 though. Hurricane put in a really good qualifying lap. I think it was 3rd or something. And then in the sprint race, obviously he got unfortunate. He DNF'd, and then he obviously turned all that anger and frustration into into fuel, which he used positively, and well, now that's 2 weeks in a row where Hurricane has stood on the top of the podium. Obviously, last week it was at the Spa endurance race, and this time, obviously, at Coda. So I'm really happy for him. He really thoroughly has deserved this race victory, and I've said in previous GCOR shows, Hurricane's progression has been immense, and if he continues on the same trajectory, then not only will he become a GCOR champion in the future, but he will become a multiple-time GCOR world champion. Going from, a driver going from struggling, spinning, as we saw last season at Australia, to a driver now stepping on the top step of the podium at Coda. I think it just shows how far Hurricane has come, and this year he's having a brilliant season. He has to be one of the drivers of the season. He's gone from Williams to Alpine. Williams, he had the whole entire team behind him. And now he's gone to Alpine. You would have thought maybe that would, obviously it's a better move for Hurricane, but maybe that would shake him up a little bit. Yes, I know a couple of the staff, a couple of the members followed Hurricane in going to Alpine, but the fact that he's managed to get Alpine's second race victory in the GEN.3 era, after only doing, is this his second race? Obviously, well, first official race, but obviously his first actual race was in Singapore when he was reserve driver, but obviously now it's permanent contract. For how many seasons, we don't know. Maybe just till the end of the season, but I'm sure if Hurricane keeps on performing like this, you can see him wearing that blue Alpine race suit for many, many more seasons to come. Could he be in this championship fight? Never say never. But I think it would take something special. But as I said, never say never. He is in this championship fight mathematically. So I don't see why he can't be in this championship fight, in real life. Anyways, on to the next point, which is actually going to be a few drivers retiring from GCOR. One of those names is a GCOR icon, and I think he will be missed, although, I won't be surprised to see him back soon, hopefully. But, Star World, he's announced his retirement. Juan Watkins, a driver with great potential, has announced his retirement. And the biggest name of them all, Coward, has announced his retirement. So, well, if you're Alpine, this would have been disastrous news, but they got Hurricane anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, big retirements. I think Coward, let's start off with him. He's a GCOR icon, GCOR Hall of Famer, and what he's done for GCOR, it's been, immense. He's taken sacrifices along the way. He's done this, he's done that. And he's not only been a brilliant driver on track, but off track, he's managed to increase the popularity of GCOR, and he's managed to do a brilliant job. So I do think he will be missed. But only time will tell if he comes back, or if he wants to stay in retirement permanently. Whatever happens, he's always welcome back to the GCOR paddock, or even a GCOR team. Obviously this season, even though he got that race win at Australia, it was a really tricky season, and maybe what he needs is just a small break, just to restart, recuperate, and rehabilitate. But I'm sure he'll be fine. Whatever happens, it will only be for the good of Coward. Juan Watkins, this driver, obviously last season, there was a lot of controversy over him coming into GCOR, over him obviously taking Lando's seat from Alpine, and whether he deserved to be in GCOR. Obviously, this guy's pace was so fast that, well, qualifying was basically a no-show, Race pace, however, he was very unfortunate with a lot of retirements, a lot of mechanical issues, and I think that's, at the end of the day, what pushed him into retirement, Also, he didn't turn up that often to races, so could have been that. And last but not least, Star World, again on his debut, One of those drivers there, on their debut, they shine, and Star World actually managed to get a podium on his debut. just like Kevin Magnussen, managed to get their one and only podium on their debut, driving for McLaren. So that was good for him, and I did see a bright future for him. But obviously, just getting involved in too many incidents, things not going his way really. I think it was unfortunate, but yeah, I think Starworld. Yeah, hopefully he'll be back as well, but he also has other commitments to focus on. Before I end this GCOR show, I just want to quickly talk about the championship fight for this season. Both drivers wise and constructors wise. Drivers wise, it's a close championship fight. It has, it has the feel of a 2-horse race, but with Hurricane getting that win, who knows? It might be a 3-horse race. It might be a triple threat for the drivers' championship. So anything's possible there. Constructors wise, yes, Red Bull have increased their lead, but even that, Red Bull, they only have a 20-point lead over GN7 Mercedes. So constructors wise, anything can happen. And as we saw at Coda, it did look like it was Mercedes versus Red Bull for most of it. So if that does continue happening throughout the rest of the season, it's going to be a spicy fight. Very, very spicy fight. But yeah, anyways, thank you for listening to this GCOR show. Next race will be at Monza, which isn't a sprint race, unlike last season, which it was a sprint race last season. But yeah, we'll see you at Monza. Thank you, and goodbye.